All right, hey everyone, I'm Ryan Nitzen, and this is the 2025 Yamaha YZ250F. Welcome to another 2025 First Ride. We're at Fox Raceway today, and we have a private day on the 2025 Yamaha YZ250F. This is obviously a super proven platform. Last weekend with Hayden Deegan winning again the Super Motocross World Championship. For 2025, we've got a few changes to this bike, not an all new generation or even really a big generational update, just a few key changes that are pretty key for Yamaha that they feel are gonna make the bike a little bit better and revised. This bike is obviously in the midst of its current platform, so a few updates that we're gonna get to, and then we're gonna head out on track to give you guys a first ride review. Okay, so what is new for 2025? I got my technical notebook here with some facts for the new bike. We got a new linkage ratio, new foot peg brackets, new suspension settings. So the linkage ratio, you're gonna have an actually new linkage setup that's designed to keep the bike more glued to the ground, more bump absorption, just a little bit better feel in the rear end. The foot peg brackets have been shaved down a little bit, so your foot doesn't stand as far off away from the bike as it did in the past. You can now grip the bike and put your toes kind of closer to the frame and have a little bit more control with the bike. And then the suspension settings, obviously to match that linkage ratio and to work more in conjunction all around with the bike. Along with that, we have a new throttle tube, new switch housing, new seat cover, new exhaust clamps, and bold new graphics. Basically, the new throttle tube is gonna space your thumb away from the throttle housing. A lot of guys have talked about Yamaha thumb. Even the Yamaha guys talk about having Yamaha thumb. And so this is just supposed to be put your thumb away a little bit ways out from the grip, so you're not gonna rub that blister on the inside of your thumb. Same thing they did with the 450. The switch housings, as you saw, are more recessed, so less water can get in there, and you're not gonna bump them while you're riding. It's kind of like a factory touch that you've seen on the Star Racing bikes. Now you get them on the standard 2025. Seat cover is a little less abrasive, a little less aggressive. Still has this round shape and this hard seat foam. Take it how you will, but seat cover is new as well. And then the exhaust clamp, shroud graphics, just, you know, little things for 2025. Not a huge difference. I think the blue and the turquoise and white looks really good. You're also not gonna get that white and purple 50th edition anymore. It's gonna be this color and then the Monster Energy edition, which is the all black with the Monster Claw. The 2025 Yamaha YZ250F retails for an MSRP of $88.99, while the Monster Energy edition is $9,099. As always too, with the Yamaha, you're gonna have the Power Tuner app, which is gonna connect to the bike. You can change the mapping on the fly, and then you have two different map settings here, light on or light off. I do remember in 2024, the bike was totally redone like it was in 2023 with the Yamaha YZ450. And I remember last year, the bike just feeling a little bit lethargic off the initial throttle. There's obviously a lot of power and the bike revs really high, but I just felt like the initial map, the stock map, was a little bit slow, didn't have the grunt that I wanted. We put in what they called the response map, so we're gonna talk to those guys today, and hopefully the mapping is a little bit adjusted, and then we'll be able to play with that on the fly. So even though it may feel like that right out of the box, there's so much tunability with this bike, which makes it really cool. I think out of all the bikes with the apps, the Yamaha is the first, and I would feel the best, the most user-friendly. So yeah, we're gonna talk to those guys, see if we can get the mapping dialed in and see how it feels in the 2025. We have a private day here at Fox Raceway. We're gonna get suited up and bring you guys a first ride review.
Hey guys, Travis Preston here with Yamaha Motor. You guys are looking at the brand new YZ250F for 2025. This bike has a lot of the same changes as the 450 for 25. Some of the big changes are the rear linkage. It offers more hold up, exiting the corner, gives the bike a little bit better bump absorption. Rear traction's improved. Then to match the new shock setting, we had to update the fork setting. We wanted a more progressive damping feel overall, kind of give the bike a more level ride attitude. We also changed the foot peg bracket. The throttle housing has been moved out just a little bit, like 5 millimeters, to reduce Yamaha thumb, so no more blisters for you guys. Engine package is basically the same because the bike already is badass, so we don't want to mess that up. But yeah, overall it's a good bike, and I'm looking forward to you guys riding it.
All right, what's up guys? 2025 Yamaha YZ250F. First day on the bike, still got some guys out on track. If you hear them out there, you'll definitely hear the YZ250F. The bike's loud, but for 2025, this is the second year of this generation. And yeah, it works really good for this chassis. I'm really pleased with this bike. I was a big fan of the old YZ250F. Then when they switched it last year, I felt like it was a lot to look forward to. I don't know if it was just the conditions that we rode at or how the bike felt at our first ride intro a year ago in 2024, but it just, I don't know, it didn't do it for me, I guess. The old bike, or the 2024, the mapping just felt like it wasn't there off the bottom. When you nailed the throttle on a 24, it kind of felt a little lethargic and like it needed to be revved up. It would like ramp up and then go flat and then ramp up again. That's kind of how I personally felt. We had another map in the bike for 2024 that they were able to install, and that's what this bike feels like out of the box. So I do have this map. That was the biggest question a year ago, was how can I get that response map? That's the one that we ran at the 24 intro, and that's the same one we ran today. I will plug that up here on screen so you guys can see it. You can go to your Power Tuner app and you can put these numbers into your app and then upload it to your bike. You have the same setting that we ran today. Now, updated linkage, okay, updated suspension settings, recessed buttons. How big a difference are those gonna make? Honestly, the buttons, it's a cool look. It feels factory. I still get confused here with which one is the kill switch and which one is the map switch. You do get two options of maps right off the bat. So you have your standard and your light on, light off. Those are gonna be the two different maps. I ran the response map in the light on, so you could ride your standard, you could bump it into this one. If you wanna change it, you go back to the other one. It's cool, nice to have. Updated suspension settings. I have not made a single click to this bike all day. Obviously, we're on a private track today, so that's super nice. But I just didn't feel like I needed it. The bike is super agile. It feels very free. There's not a lot of engine braking. There's not a lot of herky, you know, forward and back. You let off the gas, you dive, you get on the gas, it squats. It just feels super balanced all over. I think the only thing with this bike is it feels like a race bike. You can't really ride it halfway or just cruising around. If you're gonna ride this bike, you have to be riding it hard. You have to be on it. You have to carry the revs. You have to nail the throttle. I feel like this is definitely a racing bike. It's fast, it's fun, it's freaking loud. I'm wearing earplugs nowadays and it still is loud. It's just this front-facing airbox that you're gonna hear it a lot, the exhaust system as well. It's not that big a deal, honestly, but it is worth noting if you're gonna ride a Yamaha and you haven't ridden one before. All right, so as far as new suspension and linkage, I think the KYB stuff is the best in class. It works so well, the actual function of the fork. Nice to have the suspension adjusters up top here. Like I said, I didn't make any changes today. The track was primo. The one thing I'll say about the linkage and the new suspension settings is I feel like the bike is less pitchy front to back. Maybe last year it had a little bit more of that with the new chassis. I think this bike, it turns so much better than the old 23 and older. It's a lot sharper. You can turn it and lean it into the corner, especially with the skinnier front end. So I think with the new chassis or the new linkage components, it just keeps the bike glued to the ground better. I feel like it just, like I said, has less pitch forward to back. It feels very straight and very planted as you go into the rut entry. A lot of the corners here, you're going roller, roller into a rut, or braking bump, hop into a rut. And I just feel like the bike feels very planted. Doesn't feel like it's gonna kick. Doesn't feel like it's gonna get sideways on you. It feels very planted. Foot peg brackets, hard to tell. I do feel like it feels normal now. I can squeeze the bike with my boots pretty good. This side with the exhaust is definitely protrudes a lot farther out, but you're able to squeeze the bike with your feet and your legs. I'm about 6'1", wearing a size 11 boot, and I was having no issues with the foot peg bracket or being able to get my foot underneath to grab a gear. So all in all, good there. I'm a pretty harsh critic on the Yamaha seat and seat cover. I don't know, today I feel good. I'm not wearing padded shorts or anything. The seat cover is new. Maybe it's not as aggressive, I'm not really sure. Maybe the foam is a little bit broken in before we rode today. But normally this round seat, I don't know, I just feel like it's very uncomfortable, but this one, I felt good. I was sitting a lot today, my legs were getting tired, but it felt good all around. With this chassis and styling, you're able to sit so far forward and get into those ruts and really lean the bike. So, oh yeah, one more thing I want to add. Since this is a second year bike, I feel like a lot of guys, when I put on my consumer hat, they see the 24 come out brand new, all new. They go, I'm gonna wait one more year because I don't wanna buy the first model year of a bike. If you're gonna wait, yeah, it's good wait. I think all the new stuff that comes out on this bike, this is pretty much the same engine that's been in the YZ250F. So you're basically just getting the new chassis. You do get these little fine updates, right? Like the recessed buttons, the new linkage, the new suspension, the new graphics. I think the new graphics look really good. But if you planned on waiting to get the 25, worth the wait, bike's awesome. And yeah, I think you guys who don't want that first year bug, you should be stoked on the 2025. All right guys, thanks so much for watching. This is another 2025 first ride. We're wearing some new Fly Racing Abyss limited edition gear. Stuff's really cool, one of my favorite sets yet. Feel free to check this out in Cycle News Magazine. You'll see a full written review, photos, specs, pricing, all of that. And yeah, stay tuned for more and we'll see you guys at the track.